Have you ever replaced a sensor or a control module only to find the fault still exists? The real problem may not be the component at all. It could be a poor earth connection. In this lesson, we will explore earthing, bonding, and return paths, one of the most overlooked yet critical areas of automotive electrical systems. You will learn how current returns to the battery, why earth straps are essential, the common symptoms of bad earth, and how to diagnose earth faults quickly and accurately. Let us get started. First, let us understand what is earthing. When you consider any circuit, it will have a source which we already learned. The source is nothing but the battery, which has two terminals. One is positive and negative. See, this source should be looped with your load, and then it is connected back to negative terminal. This is how a system works. Here in our vehicles, this return path after the load is connected to the chassis of the vehicle. All the circuits are connected. If you have multiple loads connected to this, all those are connected to the chassis. Then chassis is connected with a single wire to the battery negative. This is called as a single wire system. Why we are using a single wire? Because to reduce number of wirings and have a proper grounding of loads, all the loads. This is how it works. Chassis works as a conductor, and then if anything happens, any corrosion on this chassis and all will affect the electrical system. But however, this earth fault can be avoided by proper maintenance and diagnosis. See, there are two things here. Please do understand. One is earthing, another one is bonding. The difference between earthing and bonding, once you connect your load negative side to a chassis, it is called as an earthing. If you connect two parts which is not connected with the chassis with an insulation, then it is called as a bonding. The difference is the bonding, the purpose is to maintain the potential difference equal. For an example, you think that here it is your battery has positive and negative, and now these two terminals, this is connected to a load, then it is connected to chassis, then in turn chassis is connected to negative terminal. This is how, this is your chassis, this is how your system works. Now in case if there are two loads like for an example, engine is mounted in rubber bushes, engine is rounded in rubber bushes, then if we connect our positive to engine, then there won't be any connection towards the chassis because it is mounted in rubber bush. So we should have a separate connection. We should have a separate connection to chassis or battery negative. And one more thing is that, see, since this is insulation, right? This particular engine block and the chassis should have equal potential difference. Equal means it should be having zero potential difference. If you have a higher potential difference, there can be a chance of arcing. To avoid the arcing chance, we will use a dedicated wire to bond within this, so that the potential of this place and the potential of your chassis will remain zero. The difference will remain zero and it won't arc. So the component will work properly. See, what are all the earthing and bonding what we are using? We are using a heavy gauge somewhere around 16 to 35 mm square, which is connected from battery negative to your chassis. This is connected like this, and this depends upon the thickness of the wire depends upon how much current drawn by the starter. This works as a primary earth for all the electrical systems. The second one, what we are connecting is One is, as I told, the engine is isolated from chassis to reduce the NVH, noise, vibration, hardness, with the rubber mounts. So this is connected, another separate wire is connected from battery negative to engine block, and this required a dedicated earth cable provide low resistance, which has no resistance or low resistance. The third one is about the bonding strap which moves from engine block to the body. This purpose of this bonding strap is to reduce the, or maybe to avoid the potential difference between these two, particularly between the engine block and a body. Why it is required? So that the engine and sensors, charging system, everything works properly. Next one is about the some of the vehicles, not all the vehicles, between gearbox. Gearbox is also mounted on rubber bushes to avoid the NVH. So we need a dedicated bonding cable here also. Now, why rubber mounts are being used here? Rubber mounts are being used to reduce the NVH. NVH is nothing but noise, vibration, harshness. Rubber is a perfectly electrical insulator. Hence, once it is electrical insulator, if you have a component like engine block here, and consider this is a body, now you are mounting it with the rubber bushes here, then what will happen? So the potential may not be equal in both the places. So what it is required that you have to maintain the same potential. There should not be any difference. In case if there is a difference in this potential, it may cause the component not to work properly. So what you have to do, to use a dedicated strap between this to bond it so that the potential difference will remain zero. Understood? This type of straps will be braided copper straps we are using it. And there should not be any resistance in the braided copper strap. So in case if there is a resistance, then it can cause the potential difference. In turn, the components may not work properly. There should be zero. In HV bonding and hybrid EVs, the components require dedicated high current bonding straps like this. In case of any failure, it may generate some false codes like P0AA6 and a high system shuts down. So resistance is limited. I already told the resistance of this wire should be zero, because if resistance is more than up to 0.05 ohms while checking, then it is okay. Otherwise, if your resistance is more than zero point 0.5 ohms, then to be investigated. If it is more than 1, then it is a failure. And then when you check, you can find that this trap itself is consuming voltage, which will affect the performance of your components which is connected with that. Now let us understand bad earth symptoms and faults. One is about the light dimming. In case if your earth has some resistance, it will consume some voltage. We already learned it in Ohm's law. See, if you have resistance, higher resistance, then what will happen? It will consume some voltage. Then it will cause the lights to dim or flicker. Second one is about the starter. Starter require higher current like 100 to 250 amperage. If your starter having a higher resistance in earth for say zero point 0.1 ohms, then it will draw somewhere around 10 to 25 volt, which may cause the starter not to crank properly. It will work slowly. We can understand from here. We know that V is equal to IR, where starter draws somewhere around 100 ampere. Then if your resistance is zero point 0.1, that means it will consume 10 volt. That means the starter will not be able to crank the engine. In starting system also, you just imagine you have an alternator which charges the battery here, and this alternator is connected through a cable. In case if there is a higher resistance in the cable, what will happen? Then this alternator, whatever the voltage is generated, will be consumed by this cable, because we learned about the Ohm's law. Then battery will be getting lesser. So if ECU is picking the information from here, ECU will understand that it is charging higher, but when you will actual the battery, the voltage would be less. So ECU will think that the battery is having a higher charge. It will reduce the charging. It can control this charging system. We learn about that in subsequent lessons. It will cause less battery charging. Sometimes if you have a bad sensor earth, this also can consume some voltage, which will in turn give a wrong reading to ECU. Then the fault, it may lead for fault codes, warning lights, poor engine performance, or unnecessarily sensor replacement. In case if the poor earth connections, by which some of the modules also will get reset. The same with the ABS and stability codes. A bad earth can affect the sensor and module signals used by the ABS stability control system. This may trigger warning lamps and store fault codes. How to diagnose? The first one is obviously the visual inspection on all diagnoses. Check the earth connection for corrosion, loose terminals and damaged straps, and clean it, and if required, tighten it as per the torque provided in the workshop manuals. Second one is about the voltage drop test. You have to connect your red probe to the battery negative. Battery, you have two terminals. You have to connect your red probe to battery negative, and suspected earth point you connected, the voltage drop should not be more than 0.1 volt. In case if it is more than 0.1 volt, investigate. Next one is about the resistance test. That's a step 3. You have to use the 4-wire Kelvin meter for checking accurate reading. Disconnect the battery. You see, for every resistance check, always do check in power off condition. Measure between component and earth. See the component, if this is a component, it is connected to earth. Now measure the resistance between this component to the earth. Then it should not be more than zero point 0.5 ohms. If it is more than 0.5 ohms, replace the strap. What is acceptable is up to zero point 0.1 ohm. Next one is about the earth offset check. Measure the voltage between earth point and battery negative with the circuit energized. So what you have to do, you have a component which is connected to chassis, then chassis is connected in turn to battery negative. You see, if you are suspecting this, you have to check the voltage drop between this point and directly to negative. Then the voltage should not be more than 0. If it is more than even zero point 0.3 voltage offset, will cause restore the fault codes. These are all the checks what you have to do. Now let us understand something other than this is about the earth looping and interference, which causes ECU resets and shielding. What is earth loop? Sometimes what will happen, there can be more than one earthing is given from one component. Sometimes what happen, now you think that in engine is connected to earth, and if you place a sensor over here, sensor is connected to earth, and other earth is through the ECU connected to chassis. That means it has two earth wires. If any of the earth wire create any higher resistance, this will cause instability of the working of the component, causing the fluctuation in reference voltages. The symptom will be flickering gauges, intermittent sensor codes, etc. Second one is an inductive interference of ignition noise. We are using what is called a high current devices like injectors, ignition coils, ABS solenoids, etc., where the change in what you call electric potential occurs occasionally. In case if this can affect the signals, so what we should do, we can have a separate dedicated star earthing, so that properly it is earthed and there is no interference of these signals with the sensor signals. And sometimes we may have to use a shielded earth. Shielded earth means like in CAN bus, oxygen sensors, these audio cables, some of them, this CAN bus and all, what we have to use, you have to use a separate shield earth which should be connected properly to the earth. Advantage of having a shield earth is this protects one signal. Second one, it will not interfere with any other sensor signal. So it should be properly earthed. In case if it is not properly earthed, it will cause noise. And if it is earth in multiple points, earth loop may occur, which we have already learned, multiple earth loops. And CAN bus to work properly, CAN bus also properly to be earthed. And how to check the CAN bus? So you have to check in, especially we learn about the CAN bus and later. It is connected to two pins. One is 6 and 14 of DLC cable. You have to put this positive terminal to this cable and negative terminal to your chassis. Then the voltage should be somewhere around 2.5 volt from pin number 6 to ground. Second one, pin number 14 to ground, also 2.5 volt when the network is idle. That means only the ignition on. Check that. In case if it is lesser than this or more than this, then you have to investigate. You have to check your earthing in this case also. So in case if you want to check whether your air strap are having problem, what other option you have got is using a tracing jumper cable you can use. Means a good jumper cable, measure the resistance instead of replace it. Now this is connected to a load, then air to chassis. You want to check this, you can use an additional jumper cable and check. That is another way of checking it. And now, how much is the quick reference table? How much is this? You can take a screenshot and you can use it. What is the battery negative to chassis? It should be lesser than zero point 0.1 volt drop. If it is more than that, then replace and reroute. And engine block, it is 0 0.1 volt. More than 1 volt means check that and replace accordingly. And the main earth strap on load should not be more than 0.2 volt, and the sensor earth 0.05, and bonding strap resistance should not be more than zero point 0.1 ohm. If it is more than 0.5 ohm, then replace it. And CAN 2.5, and we already learned it. And every path general, it is somewhere around 0.1 to 0.5. In case if it is more than 0.5 ohms, please do replace that. In this lesson, we have learned about what is an earth, what is a ground, what is earth strap location, and what is chassis and body bondings, earth symptoms, and what is an voltage limits, earth loops, star earthing, and CAN bus earthing. Next lesson we would be learning about series circuit, what is the characteristics of a series circuit, how the voltage, current and resistance changes in series circuit, what is the advantage and disadvantage of series circuit. Thank you for watching the video. Please do like, share and comment and subscribe the channel for more videos to come.